Crows. Ran by Davy. English. From. Nope. So the computer is barely visible. Current, Hello again, beautiful blank slates. Welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultimate Deluxe. This is yet again another game that became very popular early 2000s that I'm sure Mark and Jack both played. I never saw a playthrough of it. I have seen clips of it, but I haven't seen a full playthrough of anything, so I don't really know what's going to happen. Hopefully it's funny. This is a highly regarded game, so hoping good things. So, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. And let's see what happens. The end is never the end. Fantastic.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
That's a lot of employees.
Number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending,
he was
Stanley
okay with it?
relished every moment that the orders came in.
Okay,
They had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I'm glad. What's the pay rate for this job?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
What happened?
Something that would forever change Stanley.
What would that be?
Something he would never quite forget.
What did he forget?
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Not that
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Fantastic. Okay, I have control. Cool. Whew, he moves fast. Can I do anything in the office? No. Why is... Okay, that's HUD. Nope. Okay, that also ducks. Okay, cool. I guess let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I don't know.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. Where's the meeting room? Is there a door? This is a meeting room somewhere? Okay. That ladder. Okay, I don't know about elevation. Okay, no.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Yeah, you got it, narrator. Okay. Meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, meeting room, floor 4 something. Group planning. Monday, weekly target, marketing Mondays, nothing, something, question mark, group 4, group 45. This book is too small. Tuesday, nothing. Termination Tuesdays, jeez. Office, efficiency, legal, group 41, group 45, or 6, nothing. IT, we're broke Wednesday. Financial panic meeting, process inspection, group 42, group 47, 8bird. Thursday, mergers, ideas and development, group 43, group 48, pre-review of weekly review, Week review. Pranking floor meeting. What to do about 432. Can't tell 432 about the meeting. Group 44, 49. Office party. Do an altar. What's over here? Targets. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Not. Whatever. Not cost efficient. Get Chris out of broom closet. Synergize. Hire someone to synergize papers. Turn 2 synergize. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper guy. Who moved my desk? Please see the fires. Target of something. Features tomorrow. Complete target. Okay. How to solve it. Let ball. Strategy. Let's take a passive aggressive. Read it without supporting it. Okay. Use the slides to assure. Make sure you slide a thick blue graphic on the header with some pebble on the text. Share the clever and productive work environment. Everyone's unique. You most of all. Fantastic. Number of slides on slides. Slides, charts, slides. That's not a number. Okay. It's a proportion. Rate of which charts on the same slide depict the same. Okay. That is rates of increase in charts per slide. My goodness. Okay. Please. Oh my goodness. So many charts. Stop. Appreciation minute. Total the top 20 things you love by your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your boss appreciation specialist. Why is there? Okay. If you find yourself in a conflict with another. Okay. You know what? We're gonna keep going because I feel like I'll be here forever. Okay. Broom closet. Can we get? Aha.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Well, hang on. Just okay. Fine.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You got it. Nope. Okay. What? Why are they selling a saloon? Executive bathroom. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, that's what the boss chose. Fair enough. Screen bathrooms. Time. It's a very nice bathroom. Okay, whatever. Can I close this door? Thank you. Phone book. Let's go this way first. Let's not go this way first. Let's go this way. Oh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What the heck? Okay. This is going okay, cool. I guess go to the big glowing red button, maybe? Okay, let's, go, I guess.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Why?
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay, where are we? What are we doing?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
mind control facility.
Mind control facility.
Escape. Okay, I guess we're in the facility. Button?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
That's a lot of screens.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
I don't know.
Did he have the strength to find out?
I guess I do. What is over here? Big red button? Big camera button.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Oh.
Their true nature revealed.
Fired.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Was it 217? I think it was. So I'm... No, 37. I don't remember my number. I'm sorry. Elevator?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Sure.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Where are we going?
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I think so.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. Big fight button. Nope. Not the big fight button. Okay, hang on. Oh. 1. Nope. 2. 2. I don't know. Okay, cool. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I guess let's go in the next room. I don't know what's going on. Mind control, idle, waiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Whoops.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go.
Sorry.
Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
I'm sorry.
This is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
There's
More
3.
time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Yeah.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
I don't know what's going on.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah, I guess that one.
Did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Are you making fun of me?
No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
Can I please run?
That, Stanley?
I don't know.
This video game can be beaten?
Hey.
Solved?
Maybe.
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
No. Dude.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
Great.
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
427.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment
3,
I say,
2, 1. Ow. Okay. Well, the end is never the end. Great. Okay, let's try again, I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I don't know.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're going on the right this time. Why?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Is it though?
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Hey.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Good gravy.
I'm not your
This is a safety risk.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Who would I forget about?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking, this is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Her?
She's been waiting.
Okay. Where are we going? A thing?
That's her, Stanley.
Who's
You
her?
need to be...
What is... Okay. Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Yes?
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What the...
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside.
Fine.
Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but
Hey.
you're in my story now.
Fine.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Or...
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Shut up.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new worlds.
I feel like the game's just made...
And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Great.
The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice.
Good gravy.
It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Okay.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, okay.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Are you done making fun of me?
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Dang it. Come on.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Fine. Fine. I won't push a button. We'll just sit here. Fine.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
Again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let's try this. Okay, whatever.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Okay.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
His room
And as
is making
Stanley
logical
pondered this,
sense.
he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did
Good point.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Right.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they
Yeah.
simply
Whoa.
repeating?
There we go.
No, Stanley said to himself,
Oh,
this is
dang it.
all too strange. This can't be real.
Nope.
And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief
Okay.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Okay.
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
I don't know.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Right.
I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
I don't
Was
know.
Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now
Okay, fine.
as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That
sure.
this was a dream.
Okay.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Hey,
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the
Blanket?
press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm
fine.
through with this dream.
I am
I wish
too.
it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job, All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Sure, you're normal.
Everything will be fine.
Probably.
I am okay.
Are we though? Oh, cool.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, okay.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Okay.
She would soon turn to go call for an ambulance. For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy.
Okay.
This
Right.
much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And
Right.
in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Okay.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Okay.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Fair enough. What is going on? I don't know how I feel about this game yet. Stanley. Yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
mean?
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Fine. Okay, let's try to get back.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors.
With the
He
left.
entered the door on his left.
Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he'd coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Cool.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Okay. Thank goodness.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Okay.
Mind Control Facility.
Okay, we're gonna try pushing the right button this time. The correct button, I guess.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
I think it
What
was
horrible
427,
secret
right?
did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Very possible.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine...
Cool.
blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Okay.
Was it over?
You're still talking, so apparently not.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
He had won. He
won?
had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Cool.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Oh.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
God,
it was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Oh, wow, that's... Oh, okay. Hey.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Cool. What is this game? Cool, I beat the game. I get... What the heck? Oh, what okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What does it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, now this door seems to be opening. I don't know. Okay, we're going the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay. Employee lounge.
Wow. Yes.
Pass
this
through.
room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, I guess let's go that way.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
You're going down whatever this thing is. Cool. I don't know.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
You're good.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
I don't know.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Ugh. Really? No, you're lost, dude.
Let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay. Yes, I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Cool. Oh, that was
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story is completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Oh.
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. Oh.
When Stanley... Wait,
what?
What? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
It doesn't...
Something change.
I don't know.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
No.
you move the story somewhere, or...
I don't think so.
Hold on. Why am I asking you?
I don't
I'm
know.
the one who wrote the story. It
Yeah.
was right here just a minute ago.
Look at your papers.
I'm sure that it's here somewhere.
Ugh, dude.
Then it's an adventure.
An adventure.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
We're going to the right. Okay. Okay. A little bit lost. There's O. Okay. I don't. What the? Okay. Hang on.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
You're good.
Do we need to restart the game again?
Possibly.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again. But it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Dang it. I had some progress.
All of his
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Stanley
Then
decided
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had missed a memo. No, there's just no doors?
It's worse.
Yes,
I might
way
be
worse.
remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from.
Okay, let's go back there.
Go back the other direction and see if we missed anything.
I'm down for that. Thank you. No. Okay. New. Okay, just keep going.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
What we
The
missed?
story. Here it comes.
Okay, now just a big loop.
No, wait.
Nope,
Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay. What is going? Okay.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all.
What the
Is
heck?
this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building.
Oh, dang it.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you remember, Stanley?
Yes. Okay,
you know
we're
what?
just...
Since
What?
I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about
You gonna
this?
restart?
You win!
Woo.
Congratulations!
Yay.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So,
It did?
good job.
Cool.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I don't feel right about this at all.
Yeah, now we're just kind
We
of
both
stuck.
know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Okay.
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Go for it. Okay. Oh, hello.
All right, I've got a solution.
The adventure
And
line.
to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Trademark. Okay. Oh, cool. We can do this section.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward,
Perfect.
Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
True.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
I think
Simply
so.
by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a
Holy
destination
God.
is
I
inevitably
can't-
conjured
okay.
into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa.
Yeah, a little bit.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
You're good. What is
I
this
think
line?
what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
That'd be great. Ah. Oh, this is not copyright? I've heard this before.
Cut the music.
Oh,
Go
okay.
back and look at that fern.
The fern?
Stanley,
Ah.
this fern will be very important later in the story.
Oh.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
I'll take a screenshot. Okay, cool, let's go. We will keep this screenshot in the corner of the video.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Oh,
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
what is... Okay, let's just keep following the line. Maybe something will come up. We're back here.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
No! Okay, fine. Okay. Follow the adventure.
What, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line.
Oh.
What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why
Maybe.
can't we make up our own story? Something exciting.
I thought we did that
daring,
before.
mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Cool. Let's...
Yes,
What?
this is exciting.
Very.
Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Okay, we're just going in a
Go
loop,
wild.
dude.
Use your imagination. Whatever it
Okay,
might
thank
be,
you.
Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I'm not.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just
Okay.
don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
Okay, I won't acknowledge it. I'll just... Okay, it went away. Cool. Okay, aha.
We get to make a decision.
Awesome.
From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact,
So?
I believe I need a minute to think here.
Okay.
Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Cool. Ho.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
Holy criminy.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Stanley dies.
That's really how all this goes?
What the heck?
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, Who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Ah.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Huh?
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
I guess.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So
True.
I hope that's where we are right now.
Maybe.
We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Eventually.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh. Okay, it restarted. Okay.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something?
Maybe.
He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Huh.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Ah.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Okay.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh boy.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I hope.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh,
there it goes. There it goes.
Finally,
Okay.
at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Okay. This is nice, I
I have to
guess.
say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Okay, content. Ah, the
All right.
jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Up, nope. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Fine. That was exhilarating,
Is that it?
I guess.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
No, let's check the elevator.
Another elevator.
Cool.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Yep.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
I
If this
guess.
is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell,
Yeah.
I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes.
Cool.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the... Nope, that was it.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally
Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
It's my fault, Stanley.
It's okay.
I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
You're good.
It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game? And we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
Okay.
No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Let's do it.
What do you say, friend?
Let's do it. Back to the regular Stanley Parable. Okay. Now it's just broken. Huh. Well, this is...
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
Dark
our
Souls?
little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone.
The Memory
It's where I've
Zone.
been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Okay. Huh. Good times. Huh. The first $1. Nice. What's this? Demonstration. Huh. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Is it possible it was an achievement? Oh, great. How many? Video game releasing. Okay, no, that's Parable DLC. Okay, that was nice. What's this? What the heck is?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
Okay,
It's just a
I'm
husk
sorry.
now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I'm sorry. Let's go. Oh, memory. Okay, that's nothing. Okay, let's go over here then. There's something here. Nice. Nope. Sweet.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Okay.
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Okay. Well, what do I do from here? Better go back.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh boy.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening.
Wow.
I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you... Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really... Oh, Stanley. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A week?
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that
I'm
time.
so sorry. Oh god, it's dark.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time.
See. Oh, what? Ow. Ow. Oh, the fire alarm. Hey, thank you, please. Oh, good gravy.
But they didn't understand
Oh,
the
good
game
gravy.
was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us.
Good gravy. We good? What is going on?
The end is never the
Oh,
end.
end
Is never
never
the
the
end.
end,
Is never
never
the
the
end.
end,
Is never the
never the
end.
end.
Is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Is.
Cool. Oh my goodness. This is, okay, cool. Oh, good. Oh, good gravy, something's collapsed. Now it's just turning into the Aperture Science Facility. Oh. Huh. Oh. Greenery. Nifty. Huh. Okay, now it's the dead of winter. I don't know what's going on. That doesn't sound good. Oh, whoops. The button fell over. The whole room is tilted. Okay. I have escaped? Question mark? I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. Oh. Okay, cool. We're starting. Yay, okay, cool.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
New content.
You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Very exciting, I guess. Oh, okay, cool.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
Gotcha.
The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Ah.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I guess.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Yeah, Google Slides. That's hilarious. Okay.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Okay. It's where the show floor. Okay. Cool. What the? Why do you have a whole?
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry,
Jim.
I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love
okay.
it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply?
Very.
Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Jim. Yes.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The
That was
button
me.
described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Would it be?
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa
Jim.
there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. Try putting the Jim button away.
No, no,
Otherwise,
no,
soon
no,
you'll start
no,
to lose
no,
all sense of who
no.
you actually are.
Jim.
No, my Jim button. I need my Jim button. Okay, fine. No Jim button. Okay, let's go back, I guess. Okay, back we go, I guess. Jim button.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Ha! The reassurance bucket. No,
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Oh. Okay, cool. Sad.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision.
The jump circle, yes! Oh.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece.
God
then.
dang it. I like the jump circle. Okay, I guess we'll go this way. New, free, new and easy trophy. Can't be that simple. Pull the lever. Receive your new trophy. No more steps. It just works. Okay.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident?
Yeah.
Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this.
Me the trophy.
Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Come on. Give me the trophy. Do it. Come on. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. Fine. Okay. Fine. Back up we go.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I don't know. Go up here, I guess. Oh boy.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Yay, I got one. Okay, cool.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Jump circle. This map. Free trophy. And the merch. You are here. I guess... let's go this way. That's new.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Huh, okay. Button that says, you're Jim in the game. Cool. To the merch table, I guess. Huh. And again, this t-shirt's best. Okay, cool. What's this way? The reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Yes, thank you.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Cool. Can I leave my bucket? Yes. My bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay, no, okay, I came through here already. Okay. Maybe I can try the lever. Maybe try the lever with my bucket. Okay, fine. Fine, no trophy. Okay, I guess let's go this way. Huh.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games is you see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Nope. I'm enjoying this. Falling down my infinite hole.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Oh.
Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well,
no.
That sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Why are you so angry, dude?
Look, things got a little heated there.
A little?
We said some things we didn't mean.
I did not say anything.
Just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite.
Fine.
If that works for you,
it works.
Go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
Fine.
I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem
Oh.
even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow.
They're getting way shorter.
Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Yeah.
I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length.
Okay.
Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Fine.
Well, there it is.
Oh.
The shame of my life. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Oh.
Is the, teleport button not working?
It's not working.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing?
No.
I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
What can you do?
Out. Goodbye,
Hey,
Stanley.
hey,
you
hey,
couldn't bear
hey,
to be
come
away
here.
from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
Get me out.
You get to be with the hole.
I wanna
get
get out of
to
the
do
hole.
Literally anything else.
Get me out of the hole.
Take care, Stanley.
Hey,
I
get
hope
back
you
here.
and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Get back here. Can't jump, can't teleport. We're going down, yes. Yay, we're going down. Got it.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
No. What is going? What?
Stanley!
Oh, thank you.
Oh, good, you're awake.
Oh,
It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley.
What is
Because
this
this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't
Can I
want
get
to
out of the
miss a
hole now,
single
please?
moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle.
Toodle pip. I can go down again. Oh, good. Oh, good gravy. Okay. What is going on with this game? Cool. I'm out.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. Okay. So what haven't I checked out yet? Jump circle is all used up. This map, free trophy, doesn't work. Bad message your name. I am Jim. Merch, settings world champion. We'll buy the merch. Okay. Oh no, I've been there. Okay, yeah, no, okay, I was there already. Okay. What else? What else is here then? Insurance bucket, office decorations, and 3. Oh no, wait. I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. Okay. Collectibles, different hole, exit. Okay, well, let's check the collectibles one more time. And if we can't find anything there, we'll just go to the exit. Okay. Okay, I don't know. Where, okay, we're just gonna go exit. Cool.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
I think
to
so.
move on now?
Yes. I have my bucket. I'm ready to go. No screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say,
somewhere.
Let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me do a different arrangement.
Okay.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
No. Yeah.
And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Fair enough.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let
Okay.
me see if I can whip something up.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Cool. Here we go. Ah. Okay. Let's do this. Hello, good beautiful places. Welcome to the Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
7.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Cool.
And then one day, something very peculiar
What
happened.
happened?
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Okay.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Okay.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
Okay.
Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Cool.
All of his co-workers
We're gone.
What could
What
it
could it
mean?
mean?
Stanley decided to go to the
meeting
meeting
room.
Perhaps
he simply missed a memo.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging
bucket.
him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
The bucket.
Stanley
Yes.
picked up the bucket.
Yes. The reassurance bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
On the left. Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The
feel
broom
it.
closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
Okay.
I know how hard it must be. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Maybe.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Collectible.
You found one of them.
Yes.
One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these. Only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I
cannot.
tried.
I
So,
know.
I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay. Room.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Yep.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing
Yep.
him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Nice. Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Sweet.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Glad the bucket has sentience. I'm so glad.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Possibly.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
Very possible.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do?
I don't
or not want to
know.
do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would...
Turn it off.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Possibly.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh.
What? Wait.
What
was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
What?
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
Oh, no.
Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No.
Oh.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What is this game? Okay. Okay.
All of his co-workers
were gone.
What could
it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
That's okay.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
Okay.
So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? days, the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No,
I don't know.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay. I don't know where I'm going.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd
What
find
the
this place
heck?
eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No, I like my bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley?
No.
We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
The Bucket Destroyer?
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game. But it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Like crazy.
Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley.
No, I need my bucket.
What they want. Hurry and
What? Why did my... Hang on. My headset disconnected. What? That's weird.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Okay. What the heck is this? Okay. Let's go again.
All of his co-workers were
gone.
What could it mean? Stanley
I
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, we're going to leave the bucket this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
I don't.
Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Fine. Got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, but I don't want. Okay, whatever. Okay. Oh. Okay. What the heck? Okay. Aggressive. Cool. Oh, okay.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Permanently. Okay, for the first
Stanley
time
walked
ever.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
We're gonna do it anyway.
The door
It's a
behind
very
him
long
was not
hallway.
shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Okay.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward
Yep.
and willingly confront his death.
Yes. Cool. Ah.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh boy.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh. Cool.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. Huh. Monty Hall. Huh. 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 Credits. Cool. Bedroom. Okay. Warzone. Find alien section. Okay, cool. Thanks and goodbye, Civ. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I don't. Why? How? Huh. Huh. Okay. Huh.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
Okay.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
You know what? I decided, the game is probably not going to end for a while, and I'm making the executive decision to end the game, because I said so. So, this has been fascinating. It's a very interesting game. I see why it got a lot of awards. It's a very well interesting put together game. I know this is the remaster of it, and the original game was different. This is still fascinating. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have suggestions on what to play next, please let me know. I have a couple ideas for what I'm going to play, but I'd love to hear your suggestions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, make comments in the comments. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy. I'm gonna see you in the next video.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all?
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Okay, I realize.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, I realized I was gonna end the video. And I haven't. I realized that. Shut up.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
You can... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
My
Who knows
bucket.
what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is
I'm
it?
floating.
I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
He did?
Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
What?
It was incredibly painful.
Yeah, I assume so.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Okay. Why?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Why are we Mariella again?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
He didn't have
This
his bucket.
man had
Yeah.
no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Cool. I'm glad. Why is she back? What is this game? Holy criminy.
All
Okay.
his co-workers were gone.
Gone.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd
Okay.
never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
This is different.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Okay.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well,
No.
no, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Okay.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay, we're gonna try this again.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Oh,
There's
da-
something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Wait, how the heck do
It
I go
should have
there?
alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Where the heck am I?
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which,
Okay.
if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Cool. Oh boy. Is this a bucket?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect.
What?
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect.
Really?
This is a bucket.
God dang it. What?
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an
Oh.
enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Okay.
Is this a bucket? Correct.
Yes!
This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No, not a bucket.
Trick question. Both.
What?
Gotcha.
What do you mean both? What? Next.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort
it out.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Maybe.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
No.
I can't have that. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm going to erase all the buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone?
Yeah.
Why did everything disappear? Wait.
Everything's
everything
a bucket. Everything's a
Every single
bucket.
thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me.
Me. I'm
not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Yes.
Oh, this is wonderful news.
We're not buckets.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything.
Okay.
We'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Okay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Okay.
Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Here we go. Okay.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No,
Maybe.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Figlies?
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Okay. What is this platform thing? Okay, what's this go? I don't know. Oh, hello. Nope, we gotta go that way. That's a lot of cassette tapes. Okay.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track.
Okay.
Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
I don't know.
I can monetize it.
You can monetize it.
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Oh my goodness, the workers were gone. What could it mean?
Stanley
Then they
decided to go to the meeting room.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Okay, now back to this weird hallway.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay. Okay, we'll try one more time. Oh, I went the wrong way. Dang it, sorry, I went the wrong way.
Staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Possibly.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Sure.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Push the no button and then we'll go from there.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. It jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Maybe.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Is it?
And Stanley was happy.
What is this game? Oh my goodness. Okay.
All of his co-workers
Okay.
were gone.
Well,
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't
No,
go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
The cargo lift, yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, cool.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone.
Okay.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an
Where's the
inanimate
bucket?
metal object?
There
I
it
want to
is.
say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Back to work.
Well,
Where's my
try
bucket?
anyway.
Where's the bucket?
Stanley,
Bucket.
can you hear me? Listen
No,
to me.
bucket.
It's just a bucket. It can't think.
Bucket.
It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's
Bucket.
it. It doesn't do anything else.
Bucket. Okay.
You see, he's not listening.
is still taking orders from the bucket.
Bucket.
You know, once upon a time it was
Bucket.
me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Bucket. Ignore them.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just
Bucket.
going to cling to this bucket, this cold,
Bucket.
empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It does. Go back home.
Yes, I
Bucket.
suppose on closer
Bucket.
inspection
Bucket.
that it doesn't quite look
Bucket.
like your average hardware store bucket.
Bucket.
Just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier. More
Bucket.
capable of transporting liquid.
Bucket.
Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Bucket. And over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
Bucket.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
No, it's my
Why do I
bucket.
feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Let's go home.
Oh no, I'm having feelings. For the bucket.
Bucket?
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be
Bucket.
with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it
Bucket.
asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand.
Bucket.
Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket.
No,
give it to
my
me. Give
no.
me the bucket, Stanley.
No, my bucket.
I need it. Give
No.
it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Bucket? Okay, let's go back to work.
Stanley decided
Oh.
to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by him.
The
Embrace of an old friend.
A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Left. Did you give me any clues where the rest of these are? I don't know. Oh! Somewhere into the stairs, something with red and blue. Okay, let's check the stairs. Red and blue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anarines. Very
Okay,
soon,
good
you'll collect the
gravy.
last one, and then the first number will equal the second number,
number.
and that will be it. We'll be different
Yeah.
people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anarines. None of us can.
Okay. Both red and blue.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dump, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Red and blue. Some of that's both red and blue.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
been there,
door
done
behind
that.
them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just restarts. Oh.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man, and Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well,
No.
Never
No,
mind.
I didn't.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay. There's one more supposedly in the red and blue area.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
The bucket. Okay. Okay. What if I don't grab the bucket this time?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. So we're with red and blue. Red and blue. Red and blue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe.
Okay, I don't know. Getting to the point where it's just there's some small detail that I'm missing. I don't know what that small detail
How
is.
wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
I don't know. Like I said, I got to the point where like there's some small detail that I'm missing. And I don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Okay.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah.
It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, I don't know.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Okay,
I
let's try going
realize
this
that
way without the
investing your
bucket.
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you... What? Really?
Yes,
I was in
really.
the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Oh, here we go.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that
Aha.
I'm on your side.
Found it.
And there it is. The
The
last
less
stiggly
stiggly wiggly.
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the
Sake of doing it.
Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its
His
own
own
reward.
reward.
I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done.
Done.
We're all done
All
here.
done here.
And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Okay. Here
Now
we go.
listen carefully, this is important.
Okay.
Stanley walked through the red door.
To the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay, where are we going?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place... No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh. Thank God. You live. No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Sorry.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for my God?
Nope.
Is this really how much you dislike my game?
No, I don't dislike
You'll throw
it.
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Whee!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know
I'm
anymore.
so slow right now.
I just
Holy
wanted us to
crap.
get along.
I know.
But I
I'm
guess
sorry.
that was too much to ask.
A little bit. I'm
It looks
sorry.
like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
I'm sorry, narrator. I have to do this.
Is it over?
Yeah.
It's going to restart, isn't it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, no, I actually will leave this video here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. There's probably some little nuances that I'm missing. So it's a fun game. It's a very fun game. I see why it got very popular. So if you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, make fun of me in the comments, all that good stuff. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy. I'm gonna see you in the next video.
Intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
This game never ends, does it?
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure,
We knew
it said
there was
6 right
six.
there
Yes,
on
it's
the screen,
6.
but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7.
And here was the second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Bathroom.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Okay. Where are we going?
See. What came next?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, we found a Figly in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Okay.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my god. What is this?
Takes you back, doesn't it? I
No, it
spent
does.
a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Cool.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other.
This doesn't end, does
Except
it?
for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
What is the blue? Oh, they blew up.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Oh, okay, cool. I literally just wanted to go through the blue door.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines?
Sure.
Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this.
How many figurines
I
are...
must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
What did...
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes, I remember the video. I don't want to watch it again.
Yes, I love that video.
Holy criminy. Okay, this is like behind the scenes thing, because my setup is taken down. I was just gonna play through the blue door really quick. I don't remember it either.
No memory of this one. Good room though. A solid room.
No, it's not a good room. What is this game?
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it
Why
really
am I
would have
finding them
muted the
3
true
times?
joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one. This was our second Figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley.
No.
I want to keep going.
No.
What else is there? What
I don't
came
know.
before this?
I don't know what came... Why are we going backwards? Why am I still recording this?
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But
I just wanted to go through the blue door. Why is there more why am I still recording?
Time does put a rosy filter on everything.
I just wanted to go through the blue door.
Yes,
Why am I going back?
Two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Oh, cramming Netley. Ugh. Oh, the same. And we're back here.
Anything else? There was your
office.
Is there anything else?
No.
Was there something that came before?
There was nothing before the
There's
office.
something I feel I can remember.
There's nothing.
I can remember.
No. No. What are you starting now?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley?
I don't know.
Was I lonely?
Possibly.
Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's
How about not?
back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Why am I still recording? Okay, fine. One more run. One more run.
Workers were gone. What could it mean?
Hmm.
Stanley decided to go to
the meeting room.
Perhaps he had
He's
simply
missed a memo. Okay, we're gonna just follow what he says.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Sure.
doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh, I just want... Okay.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, fine. But this video is gonna be 9 hours long at this point. Now, quality's gonna change like 3 times.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Maybe?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was
Maybe.
it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would...
We good? Maybe, hopefully.
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Yes, please. Please let it be over.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Cool. Come on, give me the open door.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So am I. We think the game is finally over now. Maybe? No. Okay. Nope. We're done. Cut it. Bye-bye.